Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets on Tuesday nights. Last time we met, the party got their soldiers sobered up and met with the leader of the Tritons. A very auspicious meeting it was, as they had to rely on Yukikaze's leadership and Vendar's political knowledge to get through it, as the Tritons are a very rarely seen by the surface world, rarely interacted with, but very regimented. They have a very strict way of doing things, and so they're very judgmental of the other races during their interactions. The party managed to not get into an altercation with them, and eventually the Tritons demanded that if they were going to commit their forces to this cause against the dragons, which they want to do, they needed to be sure that this army that the surface has mustered was going to be able to support them in some way, and wanted, therefore, to take over the training regiment from the party. You know, you've done as well as you can with what you had, now let us get you over the finish line, because we have way more people, way more experienced in this, effectively. That led to some interesting misunderstandings and further discussion, as the party seemed worried that they were being pushed out of their position of power and having the armory taken from them, it seemed. But after a while, the Triton leader seemed to pick up on this unease and attempted, in his way, to allay these concerns. After that, the army was informed of this plan moving forward, and the Tritons were called forth onto the shore. They broke up the army amongst themselves and began training them. And while it will be some time before real physical and disciplinary improvement can be fully appreciated, it was immediately apparent how much more effective, the training could be when you had 10 well-experienced soldiers able to work with a group of, 20 to 30 soldiers, as opposed to one, maybe a guy who fought in a war 20 years ago trying to train 100 at a time. And the party went about their individual business, specifically Yuki wanted to stay with the leader of the Tritons, this Sturgis Clevergill, to oversee, this transition of training, and Raiken wanting to attend the combat training and see what he could learn and where he could show off. Jebel taking aside a group of about 10 medics from the Tritons to exchange their alchemy, as it were, and see what he could learn from them and what he could teach them about healing potions and the like. And Leah, wanting to make sure that the Black Rose remained ever under her specific control, spoke with Sturgis to that end and drew them away from the training with the rest of the soldiers to focus specifically on espionage. And so that division of labor carries us through to dinner time, followed shortly thereafter by a long rest. So I will jump in here and say that in the absence of a requested wish from Cyrus, he expressed to me that he wanted to use his wish twinned to cast Regenerate on veterans or other otherwise disabled soldiers to see if he could restore more ability to fight. Which I told him that'll work on injuries, but not birth defects. So, hereditary or congenital disabilities. So, since nobody posted a desire to use his wish, I believe.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable use of the wish.
Then he will find himself 2 random soldiers and regenerate them, and as their limbs grow and repair, he is going to slowly disappear as though his own limbs are being taken to replace theirs, until he vanishes entirely from reality.
I don't know that anyone... Laramendes would not have gone with him.
So the only people to see this were the random 2 soldiers that he just fixed and subsequently traumatized.
I mean, I don't know about any of the other player characters if they would have gone with him, but Laramendes would not have.
I know. I think you're going to be hearing rumors about this later. 2 people like... He gave his life to give us our limbs back. A true hero.
I don't think Laramendes feels like he has the time to go and
unwind that.
Like, have any of those kinds of discussions, so he'll just not.
We'll see him again sometime.
Oh, wait, no, like, Laramendes isn't concerned about Cyrus. More concerned about the army so visibly. Oh, but they've seen him pop.
Yep, he was a dragon and popped like a pinata. And then they were encouraged to eat the candy of his body by
Raiken. We did all eat it.
I didn't eat it.
Several soldiers did.
Yep, the soldiers that Raiken was training ate the candy.
And
I still like the Cyrus simulacrum eating it and gaining a finger.
So, evening falls. The soldiers continue to train with the Tritons. To save time, I'll say suggestions made to the Tritons to let the soldiers stop for the day are met with dismissive grunts. And so, but they do once night fully falls, and they realize that a good number of the soldiers are human or dragonborn and therefore don't have dark vision. They let them turn in. But they do seem to generally be trying to push the soldiers well beyond even what you guys were doing.
When they're like, oh, these people are going to injure themselves and everyone around them, they need to stop now? Damn.
And it's one of those begrudging, fine. Take their weapons from them and send them to bed. So, I will start you off in the world over in here. Ruby has, welcomed you back, and as your soldiers are still out there training at this time, I think she would remark saying, I figured after last night they wouldn't be doing much at all, so I didn't figure to have a busy day. But I see that it's been entirely quiet here because they're all out there working their asses off. Generals, for simplicity's sake, you have all decided to eat a meal together tonight.
Laramenus, I suppose, will respond. With time running so short, they're not. It's not feasible to have too long of a break from training, and our new allies are making sure that things are seen to in that respect.
She lays an elbow on the countertop and butts her hip up against it, kind of looking at you somewhat mischievously. Says, I thought I heard you tell them last night that they could drink and party because they'd just been given another fortnight.
2 weeks is only so long. They had the morning, though, and I'm sure they were thankful for that.
It's of course your army, generals. Far be it from me to question the way you lead them, but I can't help but be a bit tickled.
I gotta test my antidote grenade.
You got to test a new grenade?
Yes, it's a small grenade. It's been testing out. Brought them all out of their hangovers real quick.
Huh. Well, that could actually be useful.
Yeah, I got plans.
People buy more drinks when they're not getting quite so drunk. You wouldn't happen to have a couple you could leave with me? After the fortnight, of course.
We'll see. I gotta use a lot of the small, see how much more I can get, but I'll definitely be able to supply you in the future at the very least. Provided I survive.
I hope you do survive, darling.
Me too. I'm gonna try my hardest.
You know, maybe it doesn't mean so much coming from a human, but I've always thought the Dragonborn seemed pretty indestructible.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I was a human until like a week ago.
Oh, that's
So that means
right.
now you're more indestructible.
Yeah, we'll see if this one lasts better.
You were the
still don't
cute
think
one,
it
I
could,
remember.
Yeah. I don't think this body could take what that one took either, so try to avoid that.
There's kind of like this quiet moment, like there's a distance in her eyes for a second before she says, kind of mechanically, I suppose everybody has its limit, huh?
I suppose that's
Anyway,
true.
let me get you both some food. You look famished. And I'm sure your soldiers will be hungry too once their new instructors let them out. Just going to gesture with a broad sweep of her arm, indicating sit anywhere.
Can't remember which table has been our normal table.
Well, of course we need a table big enough for all of us.
True. Might need a bigger table. Might have to push a couple together. But there's also this over here.
Oh, yeah. That's big.
Indeed. So you sit down. Food begins to appear, and drinks as you want them. And you have a moment to kind of breathe and talk, where you are nearly utterly alone in the world over in, able finally to kind of reflect on everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. The defection and disappearance of coffers, the discovery of what he may or may not be doing against you, the appearance of the Tritons, as promised by the Platinum Sentinels, but no less sudden and surprising for it. And then, of course, the alliance you made with them and the stipulations thereof, paired with the fact that you have roughly 2 weeks to train these people. You now have a force up to 10,000 strong that can help you with that, and add itself to your army to attack the dragons, things are looking fair bit better than they had been, even considering the great strides you had made in training these people.
No, they're not, you fucker.
Well, what?
Because we still have to solve the problem now of explaining to our new allies that we're in the horde of a blue dragon.
Look, nothing is free. And
Apparently.
all of you, have, with or without complete comprehension of all of the implications of your actions, chosen the paths that seemed to lead best to your victory. There will be costs. Some of them you already know. But yes, the Platinum Sentinels did seem a bit, apprehensive to learn of your agreement with Azurai. Taking a long draught from her flagon and slamming it down on the table, sighing contentedly. Seltharis, back in her halfling form, is going to say,
Well, I did not know exactly what to expect, but this was a pleasant surprise. These Tritons will certainly ease the burden of training your army.
We'll probably do a little bit better since we are not much more than just adventurers.
I would not discount the skills you have gained over the past several months and the years of training before that, Yukikaze. But 3,000 is a great many people to attempt to pass those skills onto in so short a time, especially alone.
Yes,
You are wise to accept their help.
well, I appreciate you saying that.
I truly believe what I say. Hear me as I say it. I think that this Lightning Slayer chose well in you, General.
Well, we still have to figure out how to deal with everything that's going on still. Out of character, what passed a little bit while I was gone? Just the day passed.
yeah, no, you came in during the intro portion.
Very good.
We just, last session ended with them going off to do their different training. You followed Clever Gill around as he did things, and we time skipped to you're all sitting down to dinner. Cyrus didn't show up. He is conspicuously absent.
We need to come up with some kind of magical thing that kind of tells us when he's on this plane and not on this plane.
I telepath to Cyrus.
I was just
via
about to
the
say,
bonds.
if only
Oh.
your souls were bound in some way.
Please respond.
Okay, listen, Laramendus. I know I am not the quickest with magic, but you could have just said we could use.
We're sorry.
bombs.
The adventurer you're trying to reach cannot be addressed at this time. Please hang up and try again.
So he's probably with.
I leave the bond and then I jump back into it.
Diddle-oop, diddle-oop.
Alright, anyways. So, I forgot, did we have any specific thing we wanted to do about dealing with coffers or figuring out what we need to know about this? And I think we can assume that the Empire of the Four Queens is not going to play nice when we get there. Necessarily.
We don't. It's
We don't know for sure. After dinner, I'm going to cast my spell and have a look through the documents that I was unable to see beforehand to
Yes.
get the names that I will need to be able to send to.
Okay. So, pretty much that's the next course of action, I'm guessing. Or I feel we should take. Alright, so let's eat, refresh ourselves, and get ready to figure this out.
Nom 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 nom.
Raiken, you're not allowed to drink too much.
You know what that
I'm not
means,
allowed.
brother. He
but
can't
he
tell
can
you.
make himself sober immediately.
Yeah.
Don't let him tell you what to do, brother.
Is it worth
Ye-
wasting the draft on that? When instead we could use a modicum of restraint?
But actually, couldn't Yukikaze also make me immediately sober too?
You can as well.
I know, but when I'm drunk, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to want to.
I mean, if it
Can
really
you
needs to,
convince
then
your
I
drunk
could.
self?
I will try to restrain myself. No promises.
Someone
But I'll
in your
try.
position should try very hard.
If you don't show restraint, I'll just cure you immediately so that you can't get drunk at all.
That means you can get drunk again.
Wait, I only have like 3 uses, right?
I mean, so each time you do it that way costs 5 points.
Oh, okay.
You've got a
Oh, I
pool
guess
of
so.
like 25, don't you?
I don't. It says for charges 4 of 34.
So you've got 34 after a rest, after a long rest.
I think I never cleared that or whatever, probably.
I also need to check the item again to make sure
Holy
that
crap.
that's the right number.
34 charges.
Yeah, he's got some. His calculation is like yours, but it's a smaller multiplier. Like yours is 5, and his is like 3.
For oh yeah, for my constitution, yeah, it's off of my constitution, which is only a +2. I'll be keeping my eye on him.
The eye with the scar over it.
I put my hand up, eye glows when it looks at him. Anyways, alright, so
I'm the champion of Cord. I'll be fine.
I know you'd be fine, but just we need all our wits about us to figure this out because we're running short on time. We got a lot going on, and this is not going to become easier. So, we will eat, get our fill, and then when Lair Mendes is ready, he can take us to the next step. Well, actually, Lair Mendes, do you really need us for anything? Like, do you want us around for when you do it so you can just talk directly to us, or do you want to just do it over the bond, or...
I am not going to be able to send today to someone of this distance from me.
No, I just mean in the sense, like, when you do your thing to find out what was written, do you need us around for that, or are you just gonna go do your thing with that and get that information?
If anyone wants to assist me in correcting the documents and feels that their attention to detail is sufficient to do so, they are welcome to join me. Things will move faster with more people.
What do I need
But if anyone
to...
is concerned about their attention to detail, then it is probably better left to me.
Alright. Out of character, Tristan, how do I feel about my attention to detail? Would I...
What's your perception?
Passive is 10.
You feel like you're at least as good as half the people on this planet.
Yeah, I'm in the middle.
Which is a whole lot of people that you're better than.
But also, a whole lot of people.
Well, also speaking of environments, I feel I'm in the middle. I'm kind of like I'm pretty good. So if it's helpful, I'll help. If not, then I will leave it to you. Do you have to be like super good at catching things?
Assistance in matching pages would mean a smaller requirement for precision.
Okay, well I can do that, and I'll help you with that if you want me to.
If you have the time to spare, I think that would be helpful.
All the soldiers are pretty much trained, or training's going on. I don't think I have any immediate requirements. The Trident's guy didn't say anything to me before I left, Tristan, correct?
Other than that he was going to be keeping your soldiers to train, even after you felt that perhaps you should stop for the day, no.
Okay. Alright, then, other than me so I'll speak up to you, Laramentus, to say, other than me checking in with, great, name escaped me,
Which one? Sturgis?
Sturgis. I knew it started with Sturgis.
No, that's a brand new name, so I don't blame you for forgetting it.
Okay, yeah, Sturgis. So, other than me checking in with Sturgis, I have no immediate obligations to my knowledge.
Excellent. After we eat, I will split the documents into ones that I'm confident in my memory of, and the ones that I'm not. When we go into the spell, we can begin finding the originals of the ones that I am not confident in.
Okay.
You do get the impression from Laramentis that this is going to be very tedious.
But to me, you'll see that Yukikaze is eager to help because he knows the importance of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all these people are so quiet. Where's the rest of my party? That's sitting
Gotcha.
here?
Sure.
Raiken's busy drinking.
Raiken's busy drinking.
Yeah, and I got
In the
my
back of
eye
your
on-
mind, Raiken, you just hear chug, 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 chug.
Brother.
Out of character. One day he's gonna slip more about things and let us know that this is still a concern.
But that day is not
Out
today.
of character, I'm terrified because we've done literally everything to break the connection with this thing, and
Right.
none of it's worked.
It is.
But we did confirm it was his legit soul, though.
Yeah, you asked a commune. You asked Bahamut.
Yeah, I asked someone that would definitely know.
Bahamut seemed surprised that you got his soul back from Asmodeus so easily.
Discord stopped picking up my mic again. I said I'd help, Laramentis.
Thank you.
I'm busy.
No way.
I don't believe that at all.
No talk to me, I poison.
Making
As I
things
eat, I'm
fall-
like actively thinking of things to do, work with the small.
I hope so.
making things blow up or not is not work. It's fun.
By the way, because Tatsuya is telling him to chug, Raiken does in fact chug.
I'm taking note to how many glasses he's gone through, Tristan. So
Oh,
please,
it's at least 4 so far.
okay. And I know he probably has a tolerance of maybe like 7 or 8,
Possibly.
or really start
Depending
kicking
on
in.
what he's drinking. You do notice him starting to kind of wobble.
Raiken slams down the tankard that he just finished.
Yes!
He's like,
Show them who's boss, brother!
take that, brother!
I can't defeat you in this competition.
Well,
He
why are
also
you
said
calling
that out
out?
loud.
Yeah, hey Raiken, why are you calling out your brother's name? Or why are you saying
My brother's name is Brother.
no?
My brethren.
My
So
brother.
These are my children.
I'm
Raiken, Brother.
I'm gonna hesitate for a second and be like, I think I've had one too many. I think I'm gonna put this down.
I think Laramendus will telepath. Are you still in contact with your brother?
Tell him no.
He says no.
You bitch.
I mean, Raiken's had a few now. He's not completely there. So.
In your mind, you're just
I'm
here.
sure he
Perfect. He doesn't suspect a thing.
I think Laramendus just like mutters under his breath, just like, of course, there's another thing that we need to think about magically. I don't have time for this. He's not in contact with it. We've removed curse. He hasn't been in contact with it for so long.
Must be something you're overlooking.
Can Laramendus make an Arcana check?
Sure.
That is a 12 on die, which becomes a 32.
He's up to a plus 20. Are you rolling that to see if there's some obvious magical thing that you have in fact overlooked?
I'm trying. Laramendus is racking his brain, trying to think about what we could be overlooking that would maintain that connection after what, because like he's like, we removed curse, and that would, if it's a cursed object, that would break it.
Exactly.
Like all of the things, like trying to figure out how we can stop this thing from talking to his mind.
Yeah. No, short of the magical will of a god, there is nothing arcane or divine that you can think of that should have withstood everything you've done to separate him from this item.
Raiken's just gone crazy.
It's okay. I already have told him he's not getting a body yet.
Have a few more
trying
drinks,
to get
brother.
a body.
Our fear is that the more he's in contact with you, he's just gonna take your fucking body.
Has he been trying to get your body? This remains telepathic from Laramendus' perspective. I don't know if Raiken is responding telepathically or not, but Laramendus is.
Roll a will saving throw there, a wisdom saving throw, Raiken.
Oh man.
You have a -2 on it just for being inebriated.
Uh-oh. It's okay, I'm still +9.
You can still roll a 1.
Can still roll a
He
1.
could. In fact, he rolled a 17, so that is a 26.
That is better than a 1. There was a 1 in the roll, though, so, like, dangerously close.
Your tongue itches as you go to respond to this, feeling like it tried to move of its own volition. It distracts you for a moment before you make your answer to Laramendus' question.
Hold on, Hermes. Sorry, my tongue itched a little bit. Now that you mention it, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's fine.
Tongues just don't itch. Why does your tongue itch?
I mean,
Stung by a
there
bee.
might have been time here recently where I challenged him to see if he could take over my body, and he didn't succeed.
But that's
So,
the
Because-
so
because
hold on.
Because I'm
You
better.
invited him to do that?
Well, I wanted to see what would happen.
Man, you're an idiot.
But magically, you consented to his attempts to do this.
This was my question before, but then he said he wanted to roll against it. I'm very confused.
Well, because he was challenged. It was a challenge to see if he could, like go up against him. Not necessarily that he would just automatically give it to him.
That's the explanation you get.
Yeah. No, well, no, I'm explaining that to you.
I know. But I feel like it's the same explanation that Lara Mendes gets, unless I'm wrong.
But yeah, it's just like, well, I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't going to just give him my body or the possibility of body. I wanted to see if I could fight it. So far, he's done nothing but make me itch.
so you've been
That
itching
sounds
all
like,
over.
on its own, it would be dangerous in a fight.
I mean, yeah, I have needed to itch sometimes in a fight. It's kind of irritating, but
Everyone knows a proper knight just shits himself if he has to go to the bathroom.
well, yeah, but that's different than itching.
Is it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but also if he tries to get you killed to where your soul leaves your body, then is that possible, Ermins? If he dies, if Raiken dies, would Tatsuya have a second to take his body after his soul leaves?
I'm sure that's not how it works.
I don't think that is outside the realm of possibility.
It's entirely outside the realm of possibility.
He says it's entirely outside the realm of possibility.
I am certain that he does say that.
But there's so many dead bodies all around. He could already take over a dead body.
But you're the one that he's magically linked to right now. He's not linked to the other ones.
It's not like anybody would be silly enough to try and put the necklace on a corpse.
I mean, there's some people.
Some
There's
people
what?
Putting a necklace on a corpse.
Please, dear God, do not do that. Ever.
I mean, it's in the mansion. I'm not going to get it.
All right, so we need to keep that.
I do think that this is still telepathically. I do think that there is potential merit in giving a body so that this connection is severed and handling that body in ways similar to what we were intending to do in the first place.
But if we do that, though, that would put him on the plane, and wouldn't that give other forces in the world access to him? Because, like, before he called freaking... Because he's still a champion of Bahamut, he called Celestials to him.
I mean, I think that trapping someone on... What do I think would happen if we sequestered the necklace?
It would become frozen in time, like anything you sequester.
Okay. And because it's an object, it doesn't get to resist the spell.
That is true.
I am annoyed that we don't have Cyrus's wish.
I'm sure it went to a good cause.
I think that this is worth Simulator Mendes using his wish to sequester this item.
Oh, so you're going to send... Wait, does Simulator Mendes still exist? Yeah.
Yes, Cyrus has not
you
recast.
created...
Yeah.
Okay, Simulandros.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we still have Simulacrum Lara Mendes and Simulacrum Cyrus, and I
So
think
you're
both of
going
them
to
still have their
send
9th level
Simulator
spells.
Mendes to the mansion to do this?
I don't think that it can be sequestered in the mansion.
Okay. You're gonna
I need to look
retrieve
at the
it and
spell.
then do it. Yeah, is that because the mansion is not the same as a demiplane and it is entirely temporary?
Right. It's more, I don't know what would happen to the necklace when the mansion end. I actually, because the normal way that things happen with the mansion is that it would pop out outside.
Right. So, I mean,
Which is
technically, wouldn't
probably
anything
what would happen with
sequestered pop out? Like, it would still not exist because it's sequestered, but, like, it's now
it would pop
sequestered
out.
where the
So now
entrance
there's just an invisible
had
necklace
been.
in front of the where the door was.
Yeah.
That is sequestered.
Yeah. You okay? A lot of
I
coughing.
think that would probably be fine.
Northwest could play it like because it's sequestered in there, the mansion can never close because it's interfering with the magic.
That would be a fun way to do it, yeah.
Whole pocket dimension just explodes.
Laramendus is already aware that it is possible to modify the mansion spell to alter its longevity.
Mm-hmm. Which he's very interested in pursuing.
There's a person you can ask to get all the specifics.
I don't know that he's at the point yet that he wants to do that.
He will.
Because honestly, probably. But I don't think that I think he's concerned about being seen by Visandrius as in Visandrius's debt. Now, I don't know that Visandrius would actually see it that way because of all of the things that Laramendus has brought him recently. He might think of it as paying back his own debt, but Laramendus does not understand the mind of that man well enough to take that risk.
Even after how many years you've known him?
He's known him a while. He's been familiar with him for a while, which is different than knowing him.
Fair enough.
But it's also a magic puzzle that he's interested in poking around at before asking for the answer. But that's beside the point. My proposal, to telepathic to the party, my proposal is that the simulacrum of myself will go into the mansion and sequester the necklace, which will freeze it in time, and then we can deal with it later. Is anyone opposed to this plan?
I'm opposed to this plan.
As long as Raiken doesn't worsen by then.
The simulacrum can be here within whatever distance of whatever amount of time it will take for it to walk here from, or I guess me to walk to it and back with it.
You were just saying you were asking if we were against sequestering it.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm not.
And it's more specifically against the simulacrum using its wish to do this, because it only gets the one wish.
We need the wish for anything else?
I don't think we do, and this is important because we don't need a Tatsu Raiken.
Tatsu Raiken.
Totskin.
Well, I say Tatsu first because if he takes over, he's going to be the beginning.
Right
now, you're
I like Raikuya better.
I like Raiken better.
I like Totskin.
Well, Laramendus, I'm sure you know who doesn't, who is opposed to this.
I don't think that that one gets a vote in this.
You hear that, brother? He's trying to tell you don't get a vote.
No, he's talking to you, idiot.
He can't talk to me. I'm in your head.
He's talking to you through me.
That's stupid. Tell him he's stupid.
Thereabedis isn't stupid, he's smart. Smartest man I know.
Aw, you should kiss him.
Roll to kiss.
Make a will save.
No. It could feel
Wisdom
like
saving
a
throw.
character
Wisdom
is
saving
lip-
throw. Wisdom saving throw.
If his lip tingle.
At disadvantage.
Lips tingle. At disadvantage?
Yep.
Why at disadvantage?
Because the DM said so.
Am I still -2?
No, disadvantage will cover it.
I think Laramendus is going to get up and say, "I need to go and find my simulacrum."
Wait, this is a
and
wisdom
like
saving
out
throw?
Yeah, it's a
loud,
wisdom saving
and
throw.
begin walking away.
It's
So,
a
like, he says
21.
it out loud specifically to Seltharis.
Your lips tingle. You suddenly
Don't
feel
try
a
to control
strong
me so I
desire
kiss
to kiss
Larabendis.
someone. Sorry, everyone hears that you want to kiss Laramendus.
No, they heard him say, "Stop trying to get me to kiss Larabendis."
Seltharis at the end of the table. I would pay money to see that.
I don't need money.
I would pay fights to see that.
Now we're talking.
Laramendus is already like over here at this point. And I think anyone, like, as he's passing by, he just, like, they hear him mutter something about Nalia not being happy.
Yeah, this place is still dead empty at this point. So, table left without your wizard and a somewhat, maybe, awkward little exchange there between the paladin and the wizard. Leah, you've been very quiet this whole time. Surely you've got feelings.
Just observing, chewing or something.
It seems like your father might have been compelled to kiss Laramendus.
Yes, that's why she's paying attention.
Be a good show.
Like, it's just like, but he's so old.
So Tharis is like, well, aren't you going to go after him? Fights. Grand fights. Spectacular fights. I have so many creatures in my retinue.
No, he's too far away at this point.
I'll go get him. I have wings.
I mean, it's coming right back.
Is he though? How will we know it's not the simulation?
There should be both of them.
Very well. I will wait.
It would be very funny if Laramendus swapped clothes with the simulacrum when they came back here.
And then started imitating its personality or lack thereof. Two Robo-Mendises.
Unfortunately, he is not privy to this discussion that was going on, and so would not do that.
So you go fetch the simulacrum and then come back here?
Yes.
Okay. You return with Simularamendus.
So I think Laramendus would teleport myself so I don't run into any of the holes. Laramendus would go over to here where everyone is with Simularamendus in tow and say, I will be back momentarily. And then proceed up to the room.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna bring him over and then leave again with him?
He basically just go. The simulacrum is just following him, so he came over to tell them to basically be like, "I'm back. I'll be back in a minute."
And they watch you go. I guess. Raiken.
Yes.
Wow. You can see that Seltharis is watching this with interest, and as he gets back to the stairs with the simulacrum, she turns to you and says,
So, you believe your brother is trying to control your actions?
I mean, he's not doing a very good job.
And he
Trying,
is
so.
dead.
Yes.
What magic do you think that is?
The magic of brothers.
well, it must be that. because I am not familiar with anything of the sort. You're going to see her halfling, gold-irised halfling eyes flash, and for a moment they develop the slits of draconic eyes, before flashing back to normal, and she says,
And I do not see any unfamiliar magics on you.
Yeah. I mean, if Laramentis can't figure it out, then it's gotta be something really crazy.
Oh, yes. I think crazy is the right word for it.
Which happens a lot with our group.
I am unsurprised to hear that. I shall not ever forget that I was saved from death by all of you, which on itself is rather crazy, especially since it was the hands of a mortal. Very crazy.
just gonna, like, turn to Sheldon and be like, you remember that?
I wasn't there.
Just blinks at you, like, deep surprise on her face. Oh. I am sorry.
It was
It
before
was a
my
very-
time.
You look older than a few months.
Yeah, I was potting around somewhere else at the time.
Before your time with this group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Bruinar might remember.
Ruinor, yes. This is a name I recall. A dwarf.
It sounds dwarven.
Big shiny axe.
Yep. That sounds like Bruinar.
Well, I suppose I do not need to say thank you for that time back then, as my presence here now is the thanks. You summoned me, as I promised I would respond.
And we appreciate the help.
Well, I suppose that it is also the other way around. I am very powerful as dragons go. One of the most powerful, perhaps, of all the remaining metallic dragons. But I do not think that taking on even just 4 of Tiamat's children would have gone well for me.
No, 4-on-1. Pretty bad odds. As powerful as you are.
Well, I did attempt to seek allies, and I have other gold dragons seeking allies among the metallics. Luckily, it is not my job to try and recruit the brass dragons at this time. I am certain they are willing. But I have
It would
not
be great
paid.
to have their help.
Oh, I think that we will. I have it on good authority that a very trustworthy gold dragon is all over that, as we speak.
Very good.
Honestly, I wish him luck. In any event, if there is not to be kissing, then I will go to bed.
Maybe there'll be some in your dreams.
Well, I see no one offered to kiss me.
Raiken doesn't know how to respond to that question. His mouth's just agape.
You want? You want one?
She will turn back to Leah as she's sort of swaggering away, so one golden eye winking at you and says, I do warn you though, I bite.
Kinky.
Okay, do not corrupt my daughter with that talk.
I don't know, she seems the perfect child. Keep it up, young one.
She's too young for that.
Look, Raiken, let me explain something very small to you. When you are more than 3,000 years old, the difference between, what are you, 18, and her being 16 is not very much.
She's not 16, though.
17.
You're not 18.
All of you are so close to zero that, honestly, I probably consider my choices more frequently than I do. Oh well, problem for another day.
Good night.
We all share the same room, she says as she rounds the corner.
I don't have enough alcohol for this.
You should chug more alcohol, brother.
I like her.
That's right. She's a good individual, but doesn't sound like necessarily the best influence.
Yeah, you said it. Don't let her corrupt my niece. Wait, hold on. Wasn't that wizard doing... Oh no! Brother, stop him! Brother!
No, it's for your own good. I'll get you after.
There is silence.
Oh, it feels good not having anybody in my head randomly.
Work then?
Supposedly.
Yeah, because he could be acting, and I would believe that some Tatsuya would do.
Hopefully it sticks.
No tingling anywhere?
I do want to ask: are people saying this out loud or over the bot?
Oh, over the box.
Then, as soon as he said that, oh, it's nice not having someone in his talking to him in his mind, and someone talks to him in his mind. God damn it! Well, yes. Other than you guys, now I do not hear. He has not said anything since screaming when I'm assuming Lerman has sequestered him.
Actually, over the bottom. Larry Mendes, have you sequestered yet?
To the voice in the sky.
I figured enough time to
I
pass.
assume so.
Okay, so if you respond, I'll say, oh, it seems like it lines up.
I assume so.
I mean, I don't know the answer to this question.
No, I know. I just think it's funny if Lara Mendes were to say that.
I assume so. We've never tried this spell before.
And I'm
like,
not the one who
Lara
cast
Mendes,
it.
have you sequestered it? And Lara Mendes is like, well, technically, no.
Similar Mendes, did you sequester it? Yes. Those shoes will no longer be a problem.
Wait, what?
That leather was completely out of season.
We'll see if that it is completely true. He waited a bit to start talking to me again when we had removed him and separated him from me, but
Note to self, wait longer.
Well, let us know if you have any tingling around your body that's unusual.
Very well. I was this close to saying something that Raiken is going to not
Be the bigger man.
Yeah. He's not going to say it. Leah's in the room. He doesn't want to be a bad influence.
I think that trailer sailed a long time ago.
Well, after after Seltharis made her comment, now he's like really trying to be a good influence. All of a sudden on his mind, freaking lays on hand himself so he's not drunk anymore.
Drunk Raiken goes, no! Sober Raiken, how could you?
Yeah, all of a sudden in his mind, he hears himself go, no!
I'll kill you, Sober Raiken!
He did his own sequestering.
You are sobered up very well. Little tingle in your chest where you laid on hands.
Ah, that's a good tingle.
Ah!
Never mind, it comes from
Beck was thinking, recruit?
Fucking love that guy. There is a condition for ending the spell that I'll DM you, Tristan.
Okay, sounds good.
Uh-oh. A condition.
So when you cast Sequester, you can either let it be completely indefinite, and it needs to be dispelled, or you can set some kind of condition that is possible to happen that will end it.
But you're not going to let the group know?
And there's no reason for you to know.
But what if we accidentally trigger it?
You will not be able to.
There's a secret password to undo it, and it was taken from your list of least used words, Raiken.
Oh no!
I don't know why this necklace has nice hair, but like...
Certainly not the day is by.
Stop trying to blow up the world, Raiken. Very well. Those things are taken care of, and there is a dragon in halfling form up in the room. The sun continues its downward travel, and you can see that the soldiers are still training and slowly tiring. Quickly tiring. You know they will sleep well tonight. Possibly never drink again.
Or they will be so sore they won't be able to get to sleep.
Or they'll remember that miracle cure of Vendar's and be excited to drink again because they know it's possible. Booze finds a way.
Right.
Jeff Goldbooze once said that.
God damn it. Sad I didn't think of that.
He's a stone tinker gnome.
Yep.
He's got a distillery.
Yep.
And a
Great.
stutter. And now I'm by myself and talking to myself. Time for drinking. Chaos theory in effect.
Brendan pops over from the Feywild only to get booze from this guy.
They have a relationship.
There's just a door in his house that he prays every day will not open.
And then it does. Oh, wonderful. Did somebody say chaos? Theory, chaos, theory. You are chaos practice. So, long rest time?
I guess Laramendus and whoever is assisting him will need to go and deal with his spell.
Alright, so that was Jebel Raiken.
Jebel Yukikaze.
Jebel Yukikaze.
My gosh, still don't get us correct.
No, I actually thought it was Raiken that time. I was just wrong.
So, if we are getting ready to go do that, Laramendus will go get the papers, sort out the ones that he read so that he knows that he can do on his own, and put those off to the side so that we have a pile of only the papers that he didn't see and isn't sure of, so that two of them can start matching those papers with the original versions, and Laramendus can be the one that is going and correcting the errors.
Alright. So, Vendar's going back to his small. That leaves Raiken and Leah. What do you wish to do as you head to bed, or throughout the portion of the night that you don't need to be asleep?
Oh, that's one thing I could try.
Okay.
Let me see. Hey, sure, why not? Why not? I can do that. It's fun. Leah's being a bit mischievous today, so, and she has personal grief.
What is?
It's with our good friend. The name I always forget. The guy that betrayed us. Coffers, yeah.
I called it. So you're gonna pull an Alvernus Westigo on him?
Alvernus.
I will say, it sounds like you're using Dream. Elves are immune to Dream.
Oh, he's an elf. I forgot it's an elf.
I forgot elves were immune to Dream.
Yeah. It's a very fun idea.
Dang
but,
it. Yeah, I know elves. Yeah, I know elves are immune to Dream. I just forgot that he was an elf. Bollocks. Okay, done. I guess never mind.
That was a cool idea. I thought that's what you were gonna do.
It is a really cool idea.
Just torment.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could get psychic damage and not get a full rest, so it could be beneficial if you plan to get to him. But nah.
We're coming for you.
We're here.
I was thinking the exact thing.
Tristan just had to make him an elf.
I did.
Yeah.
I'll double check that he is a full elf.
I think half elves are too.
Oh. Possibly, yeah. Storm Reef Isle, Captain Rialan Thess, elf.
Yeah.
The description for him is so long!
Half elves are targetable by it because the half elves are trance.
Yeah. You're right. It's because of the trance and not because of the
Elven.
The magical sleep thing.
Yeah.
Instead, Leah, for the time when she's not trancing, she's just gonna take a stroll. Just go for a walk, clearing her mind.
Alrighty. Raiken?
I think if nobody else is going to bed yet, I think Raiken is going to go try to find Kubrio, and they're gonna work on like team formation strikes so that they can synergize even better in combat. We're gonna start doing that.
Right now, as training is winding down,
There's never too much training for Raiken.
I mean, I think that the Tritons will love to hear you say that, so... okay. Alright.
He's not training anybody else, it's just him and Kubriel.
Okay.
But you do it in a place that other people can see that the Lieutenant General is still training, even though it's so late, and that they will feel worse about their own, lack of effort. Right?
Yes. But Kubriel's not a tiger anymore.
Oh.
You summon a new steed so that you have one?
I summon Lubriel.
Oh god! Try again. Like, why not, like, Nubriel?
Because it's funny.
Time for training.
Pussy wanted to apologize, but she didn't get to take part in the battle.
She grows 6 more arms, 3 of which have swords.
Gosh. That is so awesome!
And then takes flight on 8 wings.
Oh my gosh. Raiken will also take flight.
Oh yeah, that's right, you can do that once a day.
Yep. You might as well, he needs to learn how to use it.
That is actually a
So that-
really good idea.
That's what they're going to do. Their training is just going to be flying, Raiken learning how to fly. Then Kubriel will teach him.
She's going to be attacking you the whole time to make you, like, learn maneuvers and things. Defend yourself while on the wing.
Oh my gosh. How dare you?
Cling, clang, clang, cling. Okay. Then the 3 people, Lyramendus, Yuki, Jebel, are going to head back to the scene of the crime, Tatsuya's room, once again. Are you going to dispel Lyramendus now that he doesn't have a 9th level spell, or are you still keeping him around?
Still keeping you around, because he can still assist with the magical training.
Okay.
And he still has 8th, and he still has all of his other spells. I don't think he's cast any single spell.
Oh, okay. Keep saying that.
Goodbye.
What?
I saw people fly up.
I do find that I never know to say whether or not to say bye anymore when people fly away, because it's like I keep my thing sliced to a certain height, but it might not be the same as somebody else. So people might not see them fly away when I do. Whee!
I get to.
Oh yeah, because you're on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I'll be in a few seconds later.
Yeah. He'll be like, bye, and I'm just like, alright, I gotta see who's leaving.
Soon.
So he gets warning about it. Bye, Lair. Zoo. Alright, so the 4 of you... Whoa. Seltharis, I wondered where you went.
Seltharis, what are you doing?
But now I'm telling you, Thea, that you are back in the room. You know...
Oh, so this is before or after my walk?
I suppose this would be after your walk. They're going to be doing their thing for a while, so you go for a walk.
Okay.
I guess I suppose I'll ask then. Was there some place in particular you wanted to see on the walk? I might have missed it, and for that I apologize. My head's in a lot of places sometimes.
Yeah, no, I said I was just going for a stroll to clear her mind, so she didn't want to go in a place specific.
Okay, no, that's fine. The island, honestly, is beautiful. The parts of it that are very island are easily beautiful. The city is a ruins, but in the dusk, in the late evening, it kind of all blends to shadow as the sun falls toward the horizon, and so it's harder to see the destruction and easier to imagine that these are just the natural shadows of this place, and mix that with the water and the seabirds' cries. It's very peaceful.
Do I have time to give Stella her medication?
Yeah,
while
go ahead
I
and do
was-
that.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna
Just
handle
wanted
a
to make
scene
sure.
with Leah real quick. So you're able to move about the town. You know, now and again you're brought back as light glints off of broken glass or some perfectly angled piece of wood, and you're reminded that this is destruction among which you walk. But at the same time, now and again you can see the places where soldiers or the few inhabitants of the island who survived Alcimon's attack have attempted to rebuild things, or begun to rebuild different buildings, or clear debris. The island is largely inhabited by the army, but Ruby is not the last islander left. And it becomes easier to appreciate this as you separate yourself from the army and travel deeper into what used to be this city. You see more buildings that escaped the destruction, much as many of the buildings in Tuga escaped the acid of Shisharin, especially when she began focusing her attacks on the bubble that contained all the people there. You can see that there are, here and again, buildings that are either only lightly damaged or nearly undamaged, and it is these where you can see the lights of candles and hear voices of people who are uncertain of what the future will hold. People who are not part of this army, but seem to hope that this army will solve their problem and prevent another disaster like this from happening to them. And I would think such things give Leah a sense of accomplishment, or a sense of the importance of what she's doing, even if on the individual days working with the soldiers, working even with the Black Rose, can seem like a futile fight against inevitability. So, in a very unlikely way, I think that Leah finds hope and comfort on this walk, even amidst the destruction of this city. And with your mind fairly thoroughly put at ease, the weight of the day's tribulations, the anxiety of how to deal with this traitor, Rialan Thess, much lightened by this moment to breathe that you've taken, you return to the World Over Inn and find again the comfort in the welcoming, smiling face of Ruby behind the counter as she greets you as you re-enter the establishment and head for the stairs, and then re-enter the now very familiar quarters that you've been given here, with the many beds and very much filled with the familiar smells of these people who have become your family over the last several months. And the very unfamiliar face of this halfling, though the presence of her becoming more known to you, as Seltharis watches you enter the room with interest. And you can see this sort of mischievous smile creeping across her halfling face. The somewhat cartoonish proportions of the halflings themselves kind of amplifying the puckish nature of this grin, as she says, "A very
interesting man you've chosen for a father.
It sort of just happened. Wasn't much of a choice.
Really? I do believe that he was with all of these others when you met him. You could
Oh,
have
yeah.
chosen any of them. The wizard seems like a solid choice.
No, it happened before I met him.
Oh. So, of the people who were there, he was the most solid.
It's well, not really like I chose. It's more like it. I don't know. At some point, it just felt natural. Like, or he chose it. He basically decided to start taking care of me and make sure that I'm safe.
And this did not feel uncomfortable.
Not really. It's
So,
okay,
maybe you
I'm
didn't.
an orphan. I'm an orphan. I'm raised in an orphanage. Anything is better than what I had. So.
Understand that. I was much older than you. It happened, but I too lost my mother.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was bitter about it for a long time. And I mean, by dragon standards, a long time. Eventually, I claimed her mantle and adopted the responsibilities due to me. But while perhaps it hurt more because I knew my mother, I can understand the pain of loss and of not knowing what could have been. At least, I think I can a little.
I lost my parents when I was born. I have no recollection of them.
But I am certain that you have wondered, perhaps worried, or lamented what your life would have been like if they had been there. If not,
yeah.
then you are very lucky. I imagine that is very painful.
I used to think about it a lot. While still in the orphanage. But since I left, things has kind of been happening. Quick. It's not much time to think about such.
So you leave the orphanage. You strike out as this youthful adventurer. And then you meet these interesting people.
Yeah. That's some of them.
And then
a
more.
lot of them happened later. First was just Raiken, Vendar when he was human, Brunor and Tam. I don't remember if out of character. I don't remember if Tam was with us when we rescued Seltharis.
He wasn't.
He wasn't, okay.
Tam had left your company when you first got to Everwatch. And you rescued Seltharis after that because you went to Everwatch. Everwatch sent you to deal with Bromdor, which you did by going to Arcosia. That's where you met Yukikaze. And you came back. You arranged the armistice by dealing with Bromdor then. And you went back to Everwatch to get freed from your bargain with the Empress. And it was after that that you left and headed east and chased down the Necromancer. And that's when you found Seltharis and saved her. So Tam was gone quite a while before then. But he was absolutely there when you joined.
Yeah.
But you know, he might still be out there fighting for Ebengard. Fighting with Ebengard or something.
Or we could be dead in a ditch, as we joked about a lot.
You have this connection with Raiken, and he fulfills this role, keeps you safe, makes you happy.
Yeah. For the most part.
I respect this. I do. I am a little surprised. He is certainly one of the ones that I think would be careless or picking fights he could not win, which would make him for a poor guardian.
He's definitely all of that.
Yet he lives. And yet, makes you happy. Let me be clear a little bit about this. The dragons, like myself, we have deep responsibilities to this world. There are great powers at work, and the gods cannot interfere. And sometimes the mortals they choose are not enough. Not for some of the dangers out there, so we do what we can to help protect you, guide you, one might say, as parents do. But so many of us do not have time or the interest to interact. But I am not one of those dragons. I have always been fascinated with the people I watch over, and I make a point to come and be among them from time to time. I do not always have time to do this, but I love to all the same. That is why I ask these very personal questions.
I see. It's not the first time I've had them. But it never gets comfortable talking about. I have a history, you could say.
Does it have to do with your time at the orphanage?
That, but also by leaving. And didn't leave on the best of terms.
No one's path through life is straight. Take any of your companions. Were they always the person they are now? Have they gone through great changes along even just this part of the time they've known them?
I don't know. Maybe.
I can see the complex magics worked upon your party, and so I am privy to the meanings of some of the tribulations you've been through. I know that one of your number has been touched by Seanine, goddess of self-determination, and the moon, and sex. Great goddess, honestly.
Okay.
But if he is not throwing himself at every living thing every night, then I suspect that his blessing comes because he chose a path that was not straight or easy.
I'm not... dragons or not. Not looking forward to return.
Return. Back to this orphanage.
I'm from Watchtower Point, where the dragons are.
Well, I can assure you of this, for better or worse, the place is much changed since they have been there, since you have been gone.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Why worry of such things, though? Before you went, when you lived there, you were alone, orphan, in this orphanage that you did not love. But now, when you return stronger, smarter, and with people you love. I mean, I hope you love them. They seem to love you.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
It is this quality that I love most about the people I protect, their capacity to care for another. Life is very solitary as ancient dragon of such grand responsibility. Always I must be Seltharis of the golden scale. Never can I be that very pretty, buxom lady who's a good lay.
Mm. There's a lot of things I can't be either.
Well, I suppose I shall take solace in the fact that it is not just the dragons cursed in this way, then. What would you be, if you had choice?
I don't know anymore. For the longest time, I'd say someone normal, with a happy family, and maybe finding the love of my life. But now such things seem, I don't know. When you've seen the things I have, when you've experienced all this, so a normal life doesn't mean anything anymore. When you know how much suffering there is in the world.
Perhaps this is why dragons are solitary creatures. And you would think that if all of them are seeing the vast suffering of the mortals they wish to protect, that they could at least commiserate on this difficulty and find comfort in one another. But you would be wrong. But perhaps it is not so with mortals. Perhaps you can find some sweet person who will travel with you to try and ease the suffering of others. You have already begun to gather like-minded people, this Black Rose.
Mm-hmm.
As you speak with her, you realize that her features have slowly morphed throughout your conversation until she has become a half-elf herself. Golden eyes and chains hanging from her ears.
Why do you do that?
What?
Why do you change your shape so much?
Many reasons, I suppose, she says, examining her gold-painted nails. Most times it is for the comfort of the people around which I travel. The fact that it is very difficult to get 100-foot dragon inside a building such as this. But honestly, I suppose I would have to admit to a bit of envy. Would I stop being a dragon? No, but I can at least feel what it is like to be a more simple creature. Pretend for a little while that I am not so important and needed elsewhere all the time. Just experience life as any of you does. Normal, you see?
Maybe not so different.
I think that no creatures are truly all that different once they have the ability to think. What separates them is power and desire. Some people, like you or I, we wish to make the world into a better place where there is less suffering. And then there are those who enjoy to see others be the subject of pain and torment. Thankfully, for the great many people who are like that, they lack the power to make it so. But there are those among them who do not. That necromancer, for one.
Ugh, didn't like that guy.
I liked him when I ate him. Too bad it didn't
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, the less I think about that, the better.
I will find him, day, and we will dance in my true form, and things will not go so well for him.
I'm sure he will. Once we dealt with the current problem.
Always there is current problem, isn't there? Something more important than this other thing that draws your ire and your angst. Never do you really get to do the thing you want to do, because always there is something on a shorter fuse, as they say.
Yeah. Right now, dealing with the dragons is more important than most things.
My mother tried to deal with this problem. Honestly, I am grateful to her. You would not be so well equipped to deal with it were it not for her. Actually, I wonder if you can do me a favor.
Oh?
I want to see her scale.
The gold dragon.
Yes.
I thought it was just a chromatic dragons who was done in like that.
They not tell you how this came to be?
Maybe, but I might not have understood it.
That is all right. It was a long time ago, and I think most people who could tell you would not tell you the truth. Not because they wish to lie, but because they do not know it. My mother was the most powerful metallic dragon ever born. Not because of genetics or anything like this. It is only because she was the first. She was the first dragon on this world.
I thought that was Bahamut.
After Bahamut, and I might remind you, Bahamut is not on this world.
Oh.
Bahamut is the father of all metallic dragons, just as Tiamat is the mother of all chromatic dragons. All of us came from them, directly or indirectly. Most of us, about 99% of us, indirectly. We came from our parents, or they from... Anyway, my mother was Seltharis, the first gold dragon, child of Bahamut, and I miss her dearly. For a very
What happened?
For a very long time, the dragons, the children of Bahamut and the children of Tiamat, fought for control of this world, slaughtering one another again and again, only to be returned to life and to do it all over the next day. Great wars were fought, mortals lost their lives and their homes, and eventually the chromatic dragons... Well, eventually the metallic dragons decided that they could no longer stand the suffering of mortals in the name of their war. They tried desperately, of course, to protect the mortals from the chromatic dragons, the children of Tiamat, but they were evenly matched. One day Karasoth would die, the next day Seltharis would fall, and so on ad nauseam. And so, after much deliberation, my mother and the other firstborn of Bahamut agreed to combine their magic, to sacrifice their lives, to finally tip the scales that had been balanced completely at a stalemate for thousands of years. They created the scales with their sacrifice. The scales being the only artifact powerful enough to contain the souls of Karasoth and the other children of Tiamat. That is what keeps them from coming back after they are slain. The only way to end the fight, since they were all immortal of a sort. And so, scales, what you call the scale of Karasoth, is in fact the scale of Karasoth, but it is also the scale of Seltharis, my mother. Together, the two scales inhabit that glass sphere, keeping one another down.
So, the scale we have is also the scale of your mother.
She nods.
Didn't know.
Again, you would not have reason to know, unless you carefully examined the artifact, which, given that there is no soul in it, would be painful to do, and noticed that there was both a red scale and a gold scale within it, and wondered if it was my scale, as most of this world assume it would be.
Wait, so once they released the chromatic dragons, why wouldn't it release the metallic ones? Did they
Because-
really die?
Yes, it was not... Like I said, it was an absolute stalemate. There was no way for one side to overpower the other, except through the power released during a great sacrifice. The metallic dragons, out of their sheer love for the humanoid races and the beauty of this world we live in, gave their lives permanently, bound their souls to this magic, that it might temporarily stop the dragons and give humanity, the humanoid races, time to build something that would not suddenly fall over the next day because a black dragon flew by. I have nothing but respect for the power of that decision. Nothing but love for the mother that abandoned me, because she did so to protect you.
That's very noble of you.
Not me.
Not
You-
feeling the need for revenge. That is noble. Or however you think of it.
When you have many thousands of years of life, as I do, to think about these things, and the larger picture, the timeline, the birth and death of stars in the sky, you realize that sometimes one life can be equal to the many that it saves. And that there is beauty in that sacrifice. Beauty enhanced by the pain it causes. Not that I should relish such a sacrifice being made more frequently, but when the decision is made, sometimes all you can do really is understand the necessity of it. Accept that while it is not the desired outcome, without it, so many beautiful things would not be possible. Look at everything your small group has accomplished in 3 months. How much the world will change because of it. And how barren the world would be if my mother was still fighting Karasoth in a daily battle. I will always believe that it was a painful but necessary sacrifice. And that she lives on in the faces of every mortal on this world, which maybe that's why I seek to spend such time among them as my siblings do not.
Your siblings? You talking about the other chromatic dragons, or are there more gold ones? Like yourself?
I specifically mean my 4 gold siblings. 3 now. Another demon has been lost.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
He died doing what he was supposed to. He could not have faced Bala on his own as he did and won.
Bala keeps taking everything. She's the one that we originally went after before more of them were released.
Yes. After you saved my life, resurrected me, we had our lovely breakfast with the tieflings. I told you that I needed to head west to reestablish communication with my brother. That is how I learned of his fall. He had tried to stop Bala when she rose, and he was alone. Foolish. Although, if I had been there when Shasharan rose, likely I would have fallen just the same as he, doing my duty. Protecting you.
The world is full of ifs. Who wants help us now?
4 of us remain, child. It will be all right once you put down the children of Tiamat, as your predecessor did. Use my mother's scale and the scales of her siblings to do what they were created to do. She, a very earnest and sad smile spreads across her half-elven face as she looks at you deeply into your eyes, and she says, "Also welcome to the world's smallest club, those who know my mother's name."
It's sad. They sacrificed so much for us, and we don't even have the audacity to remember them.
It was important that mortals were led to believe that the children of Bahamut still watched over them. It is not the mortals' fault that these names have been lost, mostly. It is not only you and I who know them, but only some scholars. Anyway, if you have it, it would please me greatly to look upon her scale.
Which scale was this again?
Scale of Karasoth, the red scale.
Yeah, but red scale. Yeah. I struggle to remember which dragon is which, so the name doesn't really help.
Oh.
But that's the red one. Do I know where that one is?
You would know whose bag it is, though. I don't know offhand.
Cyrus?
No, not Cyrus.
Cyrus doesn't have any of the scales.
He had the
Given a
scales.
certain
Happened at one
too.
point.
Yeah, we made that very clear that he was not gonna have any of the skills.
I think
Doral.
that was the first thing Laramendus said to him after he was, after he appeared, after all of that, was just like, give them to me. Or
Yeah,
something.
I do believe that was the episode Doral's Bad Day, when you told him that Cyrus had the scale and also stopped existing, taking the scales with him.
It's not helpful before the scales are used. After they're used,
Oh no.
He needs to
They
take
don't
his spear
exist
and then never
anymore.
come back. Does it mean Lair has the red scale?
I don't think that Laramendus is in possession of any of the scales. I think that it's Raiken and Yukikaze who have them. But Leah knows which one of us has it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said,
because
Leah
at least-
knows I
This is
don't
not
know
hidden
off.
information.
Yeah, Raiken has red and green.
And you have the bond, so you can ask him directly while he's doing flying practice with Kubriel.
Yeah. Raiken,
Oh, yes.
could I borrow the red scale for a little bit?
Borrow? What do you borrow? Why do you need to borrow the scale?
Just for a little bit. Just want to have a look at it.
That doesn't sound shady at all.
Come on. Have I ever given you reason not to trust me?
Oh, that's true. You are my daughter, after all.
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
can do no wrong. Alright, I'm almost done with trade. Then, I'll be in, and you can have it.
Thank you. I should have it soon. Raiken has it, and I asked him to bring it to me.
He nods at this information, her eyes becoming a bit distant. Says, your father. Is he seeing anyone?
Oh, God.
She starts laughing.
She's going to laugh along with you a moment and say, is that a yes?
No, not to my knowledge.
Oh, you're gonna just see her brush a lock of elven hair back over her half-pointy ear.
Oh, God.
Didn't know he was your type.
Many mortals are my type. I've lived a long time.
True.
You've never kissed anyone, have you?
Oh, I have.
Who?
Some douchebag in a small town.
Devram?
Poor kid and Thanandir just sneezes.
I'm gonna tell her about that story.
Tell me about the story? Because I remember him teaching you to high five. Is this Devram?
He's apparently Devram the douchebag now.
Apparently.
Yeah,
I don't remember him doing anything wrong, so now I gotta hear this.
She looked upon him with scrying and saw that he was flirting with other girls.
Oh,
like,
that's true. I remember that.
like, not even a week after I left.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, look.
Yeah.
You knew him for like a few hours.
Yeah, I know, but I'm also, a teenage girl. So,
Look, it was
Yeah.
safer trying to flirt with girls whose father wasn't a lightning-breathing dragon. Okay, no, tell me the story, because I don't remember the kiss.
I might be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that I gave him a smooch before leaving.
Oh, that might be the case. That might be the case, yeah. I remember him teaching you to high five.
I think I was, partly because she actually liked him a little bit, and partly just to piss off Raiken.
That definitely worked. I think I remember him picking the kid up and, tossing him in a wagon, right afterward.
Yeah, that tracks. I think I remember Raiken seeing it, getting pissed off.
Somebody got picked up and tossed in a wagon afterward. Very unfriendly. Goodness gracious. Such young mischief. I miss the days of being so young, although, and she, changes and becomes, a body much more your age. Says, I suppose I can experience it anytime I like.
Oh, yeah.
Just cheating. I'm gonna I'm gonna use seeming to make myself look like an older half elf.
She makes
You can play at that game.
a sour pout face at you and changes to a dragonborn with golden scales.
I don't know how quickly I can change places, change shapes. So she's gonna outbeat me. No, actually, I don't need to use seeming. I have alter self by will.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you can cast alter self at will without expending a spell slot. So that one is better.
So she does keep you're both just sitting there on the beds like grinning at each other, changing your bodies constantly.
Yeah,
this-
alter self is an action. As I can do it at will, that means that I can actually keep doing it.
Yeah, every 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Eventually, like after probably like almost 2 minutes of this just changing bodies, trying to outdo each other, she realizes it's not going anywhere, and she stands up, becoming the gold dragon that you met in Arngahir's Oasis.
Oh, I thought we were inside. Are we outside?
The gold dragon born, excuse me.
Oh,
Gold dragon
okay.
born that you met in Arngahir's Oasis.
I think she was a tiefling then.
She was a tiefling.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry. Thank you. Becoming the tiefling that you met in Arngahir's Oasis with the golden horns and the gold long slinky dress. This is enough. We are evenly matched. In this. She's going to head toward the door and say, "Let us see my mother's scale." And, she says, just kind of turning her chin back toward her shoulder, side-eyeing you, and says, "If you ever want to practice kissing someone a little more experienced, I'm right over here."
I think I'd get in very big trouble with not just that, but also Laramandas if I were to do that.
They don't have to know.
She blush. For the way into my dad. Come on.
3,000 years. I'm into a lot of people. He's going to head outside. Raiken,
Ha
your training goes well. You've only been hit a whole lot of times, but you're getting the hang of almost not getting hit.
I feel like you're pulling a Terran, and you're just like immediately throwing Raiken into combat situations without him actually getting to learn.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, just like in the book, how he just takes her and does all the maneuvers without her actually learning how to fly a dragon.
I mean, you are... yes, she's attacking you for realsies.
My first time flying, just like, yeah, no worries, I'm just gonna start attacking.
Yeah, she's just like, if you can dodge a sword, you can dodge a dragon. Whack!
Dragons have a lot of claws. I have a lot of swords. If you can dodge them all, then you can dodge all of them. It's fine.
Just remember the 5 Ds of dragons.
Dragons, 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 and dragons.
Yeah.
And dragons.
Yeah. So, you're bruised. You're a little bloody. But you're managing to you're getting better with your flying form. You and Leah and Seltharis come out. Boop.
And we'll land.
Alright. So they come out. Are clearly, getting winded at this point, but again, you're happy that things are going better. You're taking hits less frequently. And Kubriel's a very good sport about it. Like, she's never chiding or berating you for getting hit. You know, she more like points out how you almost dodged something and just needed to watch this or that about your form next time. It's almost a little patronizing, but you know that she isn't capable of that.
Yeah. No, it's good. Raiken, although he's getting hit a lot, he's enjoying.
I imagine you
flying and training.
Yes. I imagine you see your daughter and this golden tiefling approaching, and you get a little bit distracted, which gets you hit hard enough to send you to the ground in front of them.
Ah!
Boosh.
He'll just like work his way back up to like kneeling and then standing. Oh, Leah.
Yeah. You
I
came out
you
of
couldn't
nowhere.
wait.
He certainly knows how to make an entrance.
At least it didn't land on me this time.
That would have been very
I
painful.
I deserve that. Well, it's happened once.
What do you mean?
Luckily, not at that force, but
Strong
yeah.
enough.
It was. It wasn't a very good time after that.
Was this before or after he was your father?
More like during.
So you ended up choosing him in spite of this.
I said I didn't really choose.
Your heart chose for you.
Above, Kubriel's going to sheathe her 8 swords, and you're going to see the 6 of her arms shrink back in. And she's going to, fold the 2 remaining arms across her chest, just flapping her wings behind her, hovering in the air, and says,
So we will continue this later then, Raiken.
Yes, I can only do this for an hour a day anyways, so
Alright,
I'm
then
about at my limit.
Then I'll see you back here tomorrow.
I look forward to it, Kubriel.
As do I, my ally.
she flies off around the inn, probably to head into the room. You are stood before Leah and the tiefling in gold.
I imagine you came here for the scale.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you were getting a little impatient.
It is not her fault. I wanted to see it.
Very well. Guess there's no harm in that. Raiken will pull his bag around and summon the scale. The
The
red
one?
scale. Well, I'm assuming he's gonna pull out the first one and then remember that that's bad stuff happens when only one scale gets pulled out.
You pull out the red scale and the inside of your bag disappears.
Oh God.
And then it reappears.
Yeah. And then pull out the other scale.
You're going to see that her eyes lock on the scale as it comes out.
We lost a Jebel in chat. Oh, there we go.
He's back.
You're going to see that her eyes lock on the scale as it comes out, and there is this anticipation, this need there, a desperation that you've really never seen on Seltharis, except perhaps right after she'd been resurrected and went after the necromancer's body. And then
the green scale is going to appear, and you're going to see this disgust across her face.
I feel that so much as well.
Is something wrong?
Wrong? No. Just remembering how Bala took my brother Amon from me.
She took my country
Everything?
from me. My city from me. I will kill her with my own might.
She nods. It is no less than she deserves.
But we're not here because of the green scale. You want this one. And he'll hold up the red scale a little higher.
Her eyes are again locked on it, and she nods. And in case you've never taken a moment to really look at these things before, you do notice fully now that what you hold is a sphere seemingly made of glass, and that within, in the middle of the sphere, perfectly centered, is a red scale, and likewise, in your other hand, a green scale, nearly identical in this way. But as you turn them, you see that crossed through the scale, in an X pattern, effectively, perfectly collided with one another, all the way through, and with no damage or embellishment upon them, no visible cuts, as though the matter were simply inhabiting the same space at the same time, in defiance of physics, are, in the case of the red scale, a gold scale, and green is brass. Huh. I really thought white would be brass. Well, I surprised myself. Anyway, so, yes, so you can see perfectly collided in this thing, so the two scales, which are these slightly curved, somewhat chevron-shaped scales, maybe 2 inches in each dimension, and the whole sphere of glass being about 3 inches across, 3 or 4, perfectly collided in a cross, is a gold scale across the red, and a brass scale across the green. Red and gold, green and brass. That there are these 2 scales in there, a metallic and a chromatic, inhabiting the same space at the same time, at least at their mid, where they cross over one another. So that if you look straight on, you see a red scale with a gold line down the middle, or turn it and see a gold scale with a red line down the middle, or go someplace in between and see a half red, half gold.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these scales look like. And while they are both in your hand, very close to each other, you feel nothing as their auras cancel each other out. And Seltharis is going to approach you and hold out a hand up toward the red scale that you hold aloft.
Oh, go ahead.
I would like to hold my might, young hero.
Very well. Just be careful. And
Even
Raiken
after
will.
2,500 years, my mother could never hurt me.
Raiken will nod and slowly put it into her hand.
She's going to gently take it in both of her tiefling hands and slowly, like, cup it and clutch it to her chest for a moment. And she's going to look you in the eye for a moment before turning slowly away and heading to move a few feet away. Like, she is indicating with her face, like, I need a moment of privacy over here.
Sure, just as long as it's not too far that the scales no longer neutralize each other.
And in the midst of you saying that, she suddenly bursts into a giant dragon, and you begin to feel the pulsing of the green scale in your hand.
Alright, that was a bit too far.
She takes another step away.
God damn it.
And you can see that she rests on the haunches of her hind legs and holds up her claws before her, and you can see the gleaming of the red scale in the dying light of the setting sun. And you can hear her whispering, rumbling low in her throat in Draconic at the scale.
Can we make out what she's saying?
It is difficult. What's your passive perception?
Very crappy 11.
Roll active perception, since you seem to want to know what she's saying.
Oh God, that's even worse. Go inspiration. That was a 3 that I rolled.
Nice.
What the fuck? It's 3 again!
The dice are telling a story, and that story does not involve you eavesdropping on a dragon.
Alright, now I cannot distinguish what she says then.
The little wisps and cracks of the Draconic language that come to you only seem to be esoteric and ancient words that you are simply not so familiar with. You might be able to guess at meaning here, but she seems to be using a very old dialect of Draconic that is not used in Arcosia anymore, if it ever was. Like the couple little slivers of these words you don't really know, but try to, like, compare to words you do know, just seem to convey feelings of either love or loss, and trust, you think? Some of these are contextual words, and at least one of them is a contronym, and so it could either mean want or not want.
Right, at some point, Raiken's just going to give up. He realizes that he can't hear half of it. The half that he does hear, and makes no sense to him.
She stomps back over to you in her draconic form before shrinking back down before your eyes to this lithe tiefling with her drapey garment and her solid gold horns. And she offers the red scale back to you.
And Raiken will accept it. Do you feel any better?
She, again, there's a distance in her eyes and a very kind of sarcastic smile spreads across her face as she says, "Better. I suppose, in a sense, it could be better that I feel. I think that there will always be pain associated with the subject. But am I glad that I took the time to look upon it again? Yes, I am glad. I cannot hear her voice, of course, but I asked her if I was doing enough, if I was doing my job right, and I would like to believe that the answer I did not hear was yes. But truly, the opinions of the long dead should not have the power to change the world. There are enough of us living in it that duty should fall to us. And so, to you, Raiken, champion of Cord, father of Leah, I say this. Take this scale and the others, and do what you set out to do. Do what the creators of these scales made them for. Seal the children of Tiamat away, so that they cannot again ruin this world as they did long ago. Make the sacrifices worth it.
I promise you we will.
Good boy. Now then, I want you to buy me a drink.
Well, of course. I'll buy one myself as well.
Don't be silly. I'm buying your drink, you're buying my drink. That's how it works.
Very well. Leah, I think it's bedtime for you.
Are you saying that I can't come?
Not tonight.
You're not drinking with us.
Couldn't drink water.
Don't think you're gonna want to be there for what's gonna happen.
Fine. She'll walk away, but at the same time, teleport the Lorelei to stay invisible and keep watch.
For me to every little detail.
Update her. Yeah, update her on every detail.
Alright, I did not expect that scene to run so long, so to those who weren't in it, I apologize.
I thought it was fun. Laura Mendes would be very sad about missing out on that.
Joining the club
Seltharis.
on knowing. Yeah, joining the club on knowing the name of the.
But he doesn't know what he missed, so he doesn't care.
Alright, so
I was waiting for Seltharis to just like, once she got the scales, be like, bye. And
Bye.
just leave. And I was
Just
gonna be
takes
like,
it and runs.
I'm gonna just look at Leah and be like, alright, this is gonna go way differently when we tell Airman.
We need to get our story straight, Leah. Now, you saw Seltharis take it from my bag while I was training, not in possession of my bag, and then leave the island, right? That's
You're
what
like,
I
we're
saw.
gonna blame. We're gonna blame Laramendes for not arcane locking the bags. This is the time.
He's had so many opportunities.
Oh,
Alright, so, you people doing the research. I'll at least get the roll done for that.
Yukikaze is in AFK.
yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll wait for next time.
Yeah, I think starting with that just because moving him into Baldur's Gate.
It doesn't let me... Look, when I pick up somebody, I can only drop them in a channel I can see. I'm not allowed to scroll the list. And my list is
real
very
shitty
long.
design.
Huh?
It's real shitty design.
Yeah, I can't hold a name and scroll the list, so I have to drop them in intermediate channels.
I think this is the first time I've seen you drop them in one that I have access to.
Yeah, I always just pick one at random, and then scroll up.
A lot of times it's back for blood.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's just one of the highest ones I can see.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, then we'll start with the research, people, next time. I did think that we would get through the long rest this session, but...
We're so close to we're so close.
I was just way too intrigued by the things that I was going through with Leah and Seltharis. It was too interesting, I couldn't stop. I hope you had a good time with that, Leah.
Yeah, it was nice to have a scene again. It's been a bit.
Yeah, I
since
think
I had
that's
like a
definitely
proper-
another part of it, is the last couple sessions, just been missing out on good Leah scenes, so...
Yeah.
I don't regret it, is the shorthand here. I am glad that we did that. It was very good.
Yeah.
Alright then, we will pick up with Research Boys next time. When they're all ready, willing, and able. The Laramendi, the Dragonborns, and Jebel.
I hadn't even thought to drag my simulacrum with us to do this very tedious work that I know that I'm good at. So I'm glad that you brought him along, because it did not cross my mind.
You're just like, yeah, he's good at this, that, and the other thing, he's got these spells, so I'm gonna keep him around. Like, then you're gonna use them for research, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, I would. I, the player, did not think of it.
Alright, well...
Until you dragged him into the room, and I was like, oh yeah.
You know, and I'm also always happy to have a dragon-heavy or dragon-centric session of Dungeons and Dragons. So, I'm pleased that we got to dive into Leah a lot and into Seltharis in a way we never have gotten to before, really.
Yeah.
And just the weird ways you view the world when you're thousands of years old and nothing really matters. Alright, well then...
Devil's getting a look at the future.
All I have to do is destroy the clones.
No, Jebel's gonna live naturally for like 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Which does mean that if that clone manages to survive...
I was there 10,000 years ago.
Alright. Well, thank you all for being here with me. Thank you for enjoying some dragon shenanigans. And thank you, Leah, for the wonderful scene. I would like you to start next session with 2 inspiration. And anybody who didn't have a chance to use their bonus inspiration, because I do believe that Jebel and Vendar had bonus inspiration, I want you to continue to hang on to that until you actually have a good scene where it should be used.
Okay.
It's not your
Nice
fault
to
that I
have
didn't
mine.
give you a good chance to use it, so hang on to it. Okay, Well, again, thank you all for being here, and we will see you next time on Everybody Loves Raiken. Bye, stream.
Bye bye.
Nice dream.
Goodbye.
Bye.